What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to FALhunter. So today we got a video for you on Chris's very expensive shotgun he has right there, the Super Black Eagle 3. He's shot it for an entire season now, so let's give you guys a little update on this thing.
That's right. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of the Super Black Eagle 3. Now, this is the Super Black Eagle 3 Performance Waterfowl. I know a lot of you are new subs to us, and we really appreciate it. This isn't your base model Super Black Eagle 3, but it has a lot of similarities to the standard Super Black Eagle 3 that you can go to any gun shop and pick up. So we're going to go over the pros and cons. I'm going to start with the cons first, and then I'm going to answer the question, is this shotgun worth the $3,400 that I paid for it?
Stay tuned.
Get ready, here they go.
Take them!
So, 1 year in, you hunted with that thing for a whole season. So I know, just like anything, I mean, I can have a brand new Ferrari out there. After driving it for a while, I'll come up with some things I don't like. What have you come up with so far? What are your cons on this gun after a full season in?
So, before we get into that, this is a nice shotgun. I love this shotgun and everything like that. But there are a few dislikes that I have after running this gun for one full year. First thing, right off the bat, and I know many of you already know this, and some of you have even left comments in our previous video on how to potentially fix this, but this gun does shoot extremely high. I feel it's about an 80-20 split, meaning 80% of the pattern is above the bead and 20% is below. So what's that mean? That means that you have to float the bird on top of the bead when you pull the trigger, because if you try to hold that bead, you know, parallel or even with that bird, you're going to shoot over the top of it. Now, it's not a flaw that is something that is like a deal breaker to where, you know, I'm going to sell this gun, but it's something to be aware of that, you know, when you do get this shotgun, you know, you have to understand that it does shoot high. So me as a shooter, I have to adjust my shooting abilities to match how this gun shoots, not match the gun to how I shoot.
We've had on a bench, we've lined up the beads, we've shot, they shoot high. I've had a Benelli Super Black Eagle 2, it's what I use. I went through the same process. The gun shoots high. Most people who shoot Benellis just know that the gun is designed to shoot like that. It's popular for a lot of guns, and just when you shoot those guns, you have to know that's how you shoot. Yeah. So you hold the bird up, you hold your BB underneath the bird, and you learn your gun. I mean, just like anything. You have a rifle, you have a bow, you have to learn how to shoot that particular weapon of choice.
Even a car, you know, you get a new car and all that kind of stuff. You have to learn how to drive that car. Now, I will say one thing that expedited the learning process on understanding where this gun shoots and what I need to do differently is this little tool right here. This shot cam right here sped up the process tremendously and allowed me to see exactly where that pattern was when I pulled the trigger and adjust accordingly from there. So this thing right here, this is a little lifesaver.
Yeah, I mean, this is a complete guess from a layman, but I mean, that has to have sped up the learning process by a whole year. I mean, you get such valuable feedback from that you don't see with the naked eye while you're out shooting skeet, that you literally pull the trigger once, you could go research exactly what happened. So yeah. You learn very quickly with that gun, and that shot cam is invaluable to anybody. I mean, take away from the cool video it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a really good learning
from
tool.
An overall just learning tool. Yeah. It was huge. So the second biggest hang up that I had with this gun is that it is a pain to load the first round into the magazine tube. I don't know what that is. I've debated on taking it down to my gunsmith to see if that's normal for a Benelli.
You see those small thumbs? That's what the problem is. The guy needs to get a little workout going on.
But I've got a shotgun shell here. The gun's empty. Visually check. Everything's empty there. So if you try to put a shell into the bottom of that thing right there, it's really stiff. And it only happens on the first shell. When I'm loading the second one in, no problem. But for whatever reason, when I'm putting that first initial shell into the magazine tube, it's real stiff, it's wanting to hang up, it just takes unnecessary time. So, I don't know, that's that's just one of those little deals, you know, when you're investing this kind of money into a shotgun like that, those little things, in my personal opinion, should not be happening.
And I've noticed too, I shoot the 2. Mine actually does the same thing. Now, I've had mine for, I think, 5 years now, which is a complete guess, but it's probably somewhere around there. And I know my gun did the exact same thing as that. It has broken in, but it's still very stiff. I think I see that I see a gradual increase each year. So each year it's getting better. This year, I definitely didn't notice it as much.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know if it's just, it takes 8 billion shots to break those things in or what, but
I hope not. But yes, hopefully it's just part of the whole breaking in cycle. Yeah. Speaking of the overall break-in cycle, now I've known with inertia guns and everything that there is a break-in period. I can't stand it at times, but I know it's there. With this shotgun, it lasted longer than I had initially expected. I ordered this gun in February of last year. It came just after the 4th of July, and right off the get, I started shooting pigeons with it, trying to get it out, trying to put as many rounds through it as possible. Duck season came in, and I noticed that one of the biggest things is when I would lock my bolt back and throw a shell into the chamber and press my release button, it was just held up there. I'd have to bump the charging handle for it to go forward. Okay, no big deal, right? Then I started noticing when I was out there in the duck blind, I could hear the gun cycle. So I could hear it come back, and then I could hear it push back forward. And it was one of those things that starts playing mind games with you a little bit, you know, and all I could think about at the time was this gun cycles extremely slow. Like, I could hear it come back, I could hear it go forward. You know, again, going back to what I paid for this gun, it shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be cycling that slow. I never had an issue with this gun engaging into battery. So, I mean, that was never a problem there. It just sounded extremely slow. And for a shotgun of this caliber, I just didn't think it should be happening.
Yeah, he definitely had a couple little things going on with that shotgun in the beginning, but it was kind of a mind trick. He almost talked himself into giving me a nice, really expensive shotgun.
Oh yeah,
I definitely almost came out ahead on this thing. But.
No, there was a point in time right before Thanksgiving to where I seriously contemplated selling this gun. You know, I was over it. I was ready to pick up my Franke and go back to shooting that thing. But, you know, I stuck it out, and, you know, I'm thankful that I did.
Yeah, and we ended up grabbing my gun, and we started looking at his issues that he thought was going on, and realized that it was actually normal, because my 2, which I haven't had an issue, did some of those. Not that there weren't some issues, but we found out that a lot of them were just mind tricks. You have something that expensive, you expect it to work flawlessly, but that's just not the case. You're always going to find stuff, especially when there's a break-in period. There's always going to be something to find until it breaks in, or just something to find. Mm-hmm. But yeah, after we compared it with my 2, I mean, we figured out that a lot of your main worries weren't worries, and that we were basically causing the issue.
No, and I felt better after that, after looking at both guns side by side.
Because I think after you told me your issues, I even took your gun, and they started happening to me too, and I was like, oh my, what is wrong with your shotgun?
Exactly.
And then once we grabbed mine, we realized I was able to reproduce with mine, and then we realized we were actually the ones causing the issue.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's my biggest hang up about buying a new shotgun that comes out on the market, like brand new. You know, I like to see how a gun performs over 2, 3, 4 years, and then make a decision on whether or not to buy it. With this one, I just kind of walked in, and they didn't have a Super Black Eagle 2 with a Cerakote finish that I'd wanted, and this one was available to order, and I just flew by the seat of my pants and pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, you usually don't like to buy brand new because you like to watch the videos of people like us.
Exactly.
Telling you about what's going on. So.
Yeah. So my last little issue with this gun is the overall synthetic finish. And I know a few of you have asked me on comments on our other video on how well is the synthetic finish holding up. Well, here on the stock, it's not bad. You know, there's actually very little wear on the actual buttstock. Now, the foregrip, on the other hand, is a different story. So if you guys can see that, all that black right there, wasn't there when I bought the gun. So that's just wear from my hands, maybe from the blind, from the boat over time. But that's a weak spot. Everywhere else is fine. There's a little slight black line along the edge here, but other than that, it's holding up okay. You know, it's just a finish. It's not, and it's just a synthetic finish, so I'm not too concerned about it. It's a duck gun. It's not made to look pretty, but yeah, those are my cons for it.
Let's show you guys what the finish actually looks like up close. All right, so is that all the cons you got with this really expensive gun?
Yeah, I think we're good for the time being.
You have any pros, or you want to just hand that gun over to me? I mean, I'll take it.
No, I love this shotgun.
Okay.
First off, right off the bat, you know, you pick it up, it's light. I mean, this is an extremely lightweight, well-balanced shotgun. I believe this gun, and, you know, after you shooting the 2 for an X number of years, they distributed the weight a lot differently in the 3 versus the 2. They added a little more nose weight to the 3, it feels like, and when this gun comes up in shoulders, it is right there on the money. I never had an issue with this gun, you know, coming up partially or anything like that. I mean, this gun's shouldered every single time, which was very nice. And it points very well, swings very well. I can carry it around, you know, running the refuge and all that kind of stuff. It's a light shotgun. Now, the big thing, the big selling point for me, I had 2 big selling points. The first one was that Benelli upgraded the bolt in the Super Black Eagle 3. So they copied the Benelli ethos, and what they actually did is they added an extra detent spring into the bolt. And what that does is that forces this gun to go into battery every single time. So the whole Benelli click issue is non-existent anymore. I mean, this thing, you barely breathe on it the wrong way, it just, boom, pops every single time, which is good. Every time I pull the trigger on a shotgun, I need it to cycle every single time. So that's what this gun did. You know, even early on when the action was slow, it still engaged into battery, and that's running everything from the light 2 3/4 inch dove loads to the big 3.5 inch goose loads. Even shooting, you know, I mean, 3.5s, I had no cycling issues at all with it. So that was good. That's a big pro for me. Another huge pro is this Cerakote finish done by Rob Roberts. He did a phenomenal job on it. This was a finish that I had a lot of concerns about. I've seen other videos to where guys have had their guns Cerakoted, and 1 year in, 1.5 years in, you see it kind of flaking and, you know, just not holding up. This gun right here has held up extremely well for what I've put it through. I mean, we run the Delta on a fairly regular basis, and you're talking about some brackish, some salt water and everything like that.
Out of the boat too, the bouncing of the waves. Yeah.
And I mean, the only wear spots that I have on it are right back here. I don't know if you guys can see that with the light at all, but I've got a few little wear spots back here on the Cerakote finish. But other than that, I mean, this thing's not scratched up. It's kept the rust away, and you know, I've minimally cleaned it. I mean, I've probably cleaned it, I don't know, maybe 3 times this season, and that's just because it was new and I wanted to clean it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be like every other gun that I own, to where next year I probably won't clean it at all. You know, it'll get added to the rotation just like everything else. But the Cerakote finish was definitely worth it right here, you know, and that's what I needed. You know, my Franke is a good gun. It just couldn't take the abuse that I was putting it through.
Oh yeah, that gun was about done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, another nice thing about this gun is the minimal recoil that it has. So with this enlarged comb, and it's a very soft comb compared to the Super Black Eagle 2, I mean, I can completely compress that down, and the enlarged chevrons on it, you know, running 3.5s, you just don't feel a thing. It's like shooting 3-inch loads at ducks and all that kind of stuff. It's a very soft shooting gun, which is nice. I mean, I've never been one to really notice recoil all that much anyways, but with this thing, it's a champ. I mean, cycles, easy on the shoulder, all that kind of stuff. I think I could run, you know, boxes of 3.5s for geese or something like that all day and not have any issues with it. So other than that, I mean, those are the pros that I have.
All right, so for the big question, you've had that thing for 1 year. Mm-hmm. You've shot a lot of ducks over the time. You've brought in on a lot of hunts. If you could do it over again, would you have bought that gun?
So would I buy the Super Black Eagle 3 again? Yes. Would I spend $3,400 on this gun? Heck no. Not happening.
So the Rob Roberts special edition one you would not get?
No, there's no way.
Okay.
Although this is a very nice gun, for $3,400, what are you doing? You're paying for the Benelli name. You know, it's just like buying a Mercedes or a BMW at that point. So you're spending a lot on the name to begin with. And two, for $3,400, you know, what did it come with? It came with some Rob Roberts chokes that I'm not a huge fan of. Yes, it's got an enlarged charging handle, or yeah, not only does it have an enlarged charging handle, but it also has an enlarged bolt release. But other than that, I feel like I could have purchased a standard base model Super Black Eagle 3, and if I wanted a Cerakote finish done, and a really nice Cerakote finish done, sent it off and spent, you know, maybe $500-600 on a very good quality Cerakote job, and I still would have been in, what, $2,300?
Yeah.
I could have saved myself an extra $1,000.
Or just got the full camo.
Yeah, or the full camo.
My Benelli's the full camo, and mine's taking a whooping. And it's definitely got its chips, but it's not rusting. So
I mean, and I would have been $1,900 after taxes and droves fees and everything like that. So do I feel like I overpaid? Yes, most definitely. I love the shotgun. I don't believe it's worth the $3,400 price tag that comes with it. So, other than that, that pretty much sums up year one with a Benelli Super Black Eagle 3 Performance Waterfowl.
Yep. We'll do a year 2, year 3. Hopefully it lasts for those. That's going to be an expensive.
Oh man,
expensive, not lasting shotgun.
I'll tell you what. If I'm buying a new shotgun here in the next few years, I am going to be PO'd.
Something went wrong.
Yeah. First one to comment gets it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and if you haven't liked, subscribe, please do so. You're helping us out. We keep bringing you content. You have any questions on this gun, Chris will comment and let you guys know. Like I said, he has a whole year shooting this gun now, and he's done more than just waterfowl hunt with this thing. He's shot a lot of loads through this gun, so he'll probably be able to help you out. So go ahead and ask us in the comments. He'll get back to you guys. If I have the answer for you, I'll get back to you. Yeah. Other than that, thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.